Hey there, good morning. This is take two. um, I'm doing something a little different today, which is bringing somebody else on to have a little chat. And so we tried a couple minutes ago, but it didn't quite work out. So anyway, as some of you know, I did a online interview series earlier in this year. So I did two of them. The first one was in January. It was called Embrace Your Unique Self, Discover Inner Healing Practices to Trust Your Intuition, Reclaim Self-Worth, and Love the Skin You're In. And then the second online interview series I did in the fall was called Sovereign and Strong, How to See Beauty in Chaos, Shift Your Consciousness, and Create Peace Within. And if you're looking for those, you can find them in my bio. But I'm not doing another interview series just yet, but I still want to connect with amazing people and teachers in different communities around the world that are doing amazing things. And one of them I have with me today. So her name is Lulu Berton, and I'm going to add her to the chat right now, and we're going to talk. So let's see if I can do that. Lulu, you should be able to pop on here any second.
Hi.
Oh, it worked.
Hi, Clarissa. We made it. We made it. I'm so happy.
Yes, me too. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the little, for your patience with the little technical snafu that that happens.
Oh, no problem. That's part of life.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm so happy that you're here. For people who are not familiar with Lulu, she is an Italian American, excuse me, wellness leader. She is a yogini. She is a published author, and she's been in the self-realization field for over 13 years. So we're so happy to have her here with us, whether you're watching it live or on the replay. And I would love to hear a little bit about your journey to, like, a little bit about your path, that you experienced to get you where you are right now.
Yes. Well, first of all, Clarita, thank you so much for having me. I'm blessed to be your guest today. I love what you do. You're an amazing person. So I love to partner up with with amazing souls. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I currently I'm in Tuscany. As you can see, well, it's kind of cold here, so I have a stove that it's going on mostly all day. I gravitated in this field, in the self-realization field, for, let's say, seriously, for almost 12 years. And I lived in LA. I lived in LA for 13 years. So I was in California up until 3 months ago, and then I decided that it was time for me to go back into nature and to be surrounded by nature. And so I decided to come back to Tuscany, and I'm very happy that I'm here, and I will tell you why. I decided to have a shift in the way I live my life that has really proven to be very healing, let's say. And so I decided to be surrounded by nature where I live. We all know that whatever is happening in the world has provoked also a shift in the paradigms in which we live our lives. So in the working field, for example, we had economic revolution, let's call it, which is the so-called smart working, where everybody is working from home, and as long as you have an internet connection, you're fine. Now, my perspective in this one is that, yes, we have a connection, internet connection, but the real connection is the connection with Mother Nature. Mm-hmm. So we can have a strong internet connection, but we can have a very weak connection with Mother Nature. So this is the very important point. And for me, in my personal experience, when I lived in a city and I was surrounded by, you know, all of this, you know, antennas, 5Gs, and also the stress about living in a big city, once I stepped into nature, you know, the trees did it for me, the rivers did it for me, the sun, the moon, the stars that I can see at night did it for me. Because sometimes we think that we are in control, but we're not. We are in control to a certain point. We have a free will, but to a certain point, and then we have to surrender to the ability of nature to give us, to guide us. Yeah. So for me, nature has been very healing, very important in my journey of self-realization.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people have found this year, not having access to like doing a lot of things that we've traditionally done for either entertainment or leisure, but nature was always the thing that people still had access to. And I think a lot of people this year have sort of, because I'm in Chicago, so it's very, I'm in the city, and I think a lot of people were able to rekindle their connection with nature more this year, more so than they could typically before.
Yes, I agree, and it's at least if this, you know, whatever is happening in the world has done something good, is to in a way reconnect us with with nature. And I've been doing a lot of forest bathing, which is this practice where you it's a Japanese practice called Shinrin Yoku, which means, you know, bathing with all of your senses in the forest. So you go in a natural surrounding and then you open up all your senses to whatever is there. And also the sense of touching. So, you know, even walking barefoot on the earth is very important, because we need, it's called earthing, actually. It's a practice. We need to really capture the electromagnetic field of Mother Earth in order to also rebalance everything inside of us. So absolutely. And you know, in yoga, in the yoga tradition, in the Vedantic tradition, because I'm also let's say a scholar of Vedanta, which is the most ancient body of knowledge in the entire world. And according to the ancient Vedanta, in the yogic philosophy, the sun is in our own hearts, the moon is in our minds, and the earth is in our bodies. For example, in Latin, the word human derives from humus. Humus is the earth, which means that we come from Mother Earth. So our bodies are just a representation, a microcosmic representation of Mother Earth. So we have within us all the elements that are in nature. There's no separation. So, you know, this idea that we live as an ego, separated from all the things that are outside of us, this dualistic thinking is not conducive to the highest form of realization, which is we are one with nature. We are so intertwined with whatever is around us that there is no separation.
Yeah. In Chinese medicine, it's similar too. So I'm a Chinese medicine doctor. And so we talk about all of the elements being in the body: wood, fire, metal, water, earth. And it's just this interplay of different elements and those elemental energies in the body that keep us healthy.
Yes, beautiful. And I know you are an acupuncturist, and of course it's a beautiful practice. It's a beautiful discipline. And it teaches you that, yes, we are one with nature. And for example, there are some mantras in the yoga tradition, like Soham, Sohum, Soham, hum that means I am hum, so I am that, meaning I am the universe and the universe is within me. So so I'm also a big fan of mantras because I think that well, I think it's not that I think, but it's well known that the mantras are the matrices of patterned vibrations, the building blocks of all of our thoughts and all of our emotions are in these mantras. Mantras are even more important than atoms in a way, because the world is vibration.
Right.
The world is energy, right? The universe is energy.
Yeah.
And the energy is vibration. And
Yeah.
so mantras are these building blocks that really connect us to the highest divine forms of being. So
Yeah. Sound is so important. Those sound vibrations
yes,
just create worlds. Yeah.
yeah. And also, so I just wanted to share this with you, Clarita. So I told you I moved back to Italy, and you know, I also play the harmonium. That is this instrument everybody knows in America. Most people know what an harmonium is in America, because you know, people, you know, if you go to a yoga class. Oh, sorry, I lost a bit.
That's okay. We're still here.
Are you still there? Yeah, I'm losing pieces. Sorry.
Okay.
What I was saying is that in Italy, the harmonium is not really an instrument that people know of. So anyway, introduced Italians in this area in Tuscany to the harmonium, and they're loving it. You know, they love it. They love the sound. They love everything about it. So I'm very happy that I'm able to. Sorry, I have to I'm gonna have to do a little thing here. Okay, then we're gonna be able to. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Okay, you can still see me, yeah?
Yep, we're good. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah. So mantras, you know, and then mantra means manas. Man comes from manas, which means the mind and the heart, because mind and heart are connected in the Vedantic tradition. And then manas trayate, which means trayate means to traverse the mind and the heart. So with a mantra, you go from the mind into the heart directly in a heartbeat. So it transcends our thoughts. It helps us go beyond the let's say the blockages that thoughts create.
Yep. I was going to say the ego mind a little bit, or the busy brain, the monkey mind.
Exactly, the monkey mind that jumps from like a monkey, right? So you have a thought, and then you have another. From, you know, apparently we have around 50,000 thoughts a day. So think about it. Yeah, think about it. We wake up in the morning, we open our eyes, and we start with one thought, like, should I have coffee today? I can't wait to have coffee. Or maybe I'll shower first. Oh, my God, I have that appointment with that person. Oh, I'd call them to say I'm going to be late. And then my boss is going to tell me this. And, you know, and start the mental elaboration. And thought leads to the other. My mind, as you said, Clarita. So we go from one thought to the other. And apparently something like 50,000 mental formations a day.
Yeah, I thought it was actually more than that. I thought it was close to like 80,000.
Well, you know, so it's interesting you brought this up, because a new study says that we have around 6,000 thoughts a day. But hold on, let me just go and get this one so I can sit here. So, but the thing is this. So what are thoughts? When we say thoughts, it could mean, so a thought is also a memory. A thought is also an emotion. It could be a sensation. So we bring in all these elements and we categorize them as thoughts. So it depends on the studies. So some studies may include maybe also some memories, some sensations, some emotions. And so you know, there's different categories that you can give to what a thought is, but we have a lot.
Yeah.
We have whether our or 80, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a funky mind that jumps from this to that to that to that. And especially in this day and age, with all the stuff that comes from the outer world, where we switch on the news, it's like not only our thoughts, we're getting all of these other thoughts, all of these other mental formations. And man, it's tough.
Yeah. We're just constantly bombarded by thoughts that are not our own.
That with thoughts that are not our own. So on top of all our thoughts, we're bringing other thoughts in, other energy in. So how do we navigate this chaos? It's not easy, right? Navigate the chaos. And so I find, for example, mantra, very important practice, chanting the divine names. It's very important. And then also mindfulness, you know, mindfulness and having a practice of mindfulness that allows you to live in the present moment. There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
You know,
how do you practice mindfulness throughout your day? Sort of like, are you, you know, because we talk in America anyway, we talk a lot about mindfulness, and sometimes people don't quite know how to approach it in the day-to-day stuff that we have to do with work or family or, you know, all the other things that we do. Can you give some recommendations of of how people can approach it in like an easier way that feels good?
Yes, absolutely. Very good question, Clarita. So first of all, I'm a trainee at UCLA, MARC, which is the Mindful Awareness Research Center. So I'm finishing my second year, and then eventually I'm going to graduate in being a mindfulness facilitator. So the approach that I have been finding amazing through UCLA is the approach that can bring mindfulness in daily living. So there's this misconception and stigma about meditation, that meditation or mindfulness is a practice where you have to, you know, find an hour a day where you have to sit like a Buddha and wear some weird beads, you know, and or, you know, retire in a cave in India. I mean, these are old concepts of meditation that we're not dismantling, but we're trying also to you know, to adapt to the new times. So my approach is to just become aware of what you're doing and bringing your awareness in the breath. You know, there's a practice called stop. Stop, which is an acronym for S. So let's say whenever you're having an overwhelming moment, just practice this. Practice stop. Stop is an acronym for S, stop. Stop whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're doing, just stop. Then T stands for take a breath.
Right.
Stop. Take a breath. Before you're going to make that phone call, before you're going to answer, say something nasty to your partner, before you are, you know, want to that whatever action you want to take, stop, take a breath. O stands for observe. Observe, meaning observe what is going on within you. Are you having like a panic attack? Just observe. Are you having rage? Are you anxious about something? Are you fearful about something? So observe your emotion that is bubbling up, and also observe where is it in your body, because we know that emotion, they get stuck, you know, Clarita, because of the work you do as is that, you know, people get stuck, you know, in some parts of the body, but the reason why they're stuck is also because there's some emotion that they haven't been able to move through their body, that is stuck somewhere, and it gives them issues, you know. So part, but then, you know, there are other cases. So observe where this emotion is in your body. Is it in the shoulders? Is it you feel a contraction in the abdomen? Do you feel a sense of tightness in your heart? What is it? Observe. Your body never lies. Your body never lies, right?
Yep, that's the truth.
The truth. The body never lies. So observe where is it in your body, what's going on. And P, proceed. Simple. Okay? Stop. So do a stop practice and become intimate with whatever is going on in your life. And this is
I
what
love that. I love that. And it's so simple, but it's so applicable to everything.
yeah, everything. And it's simple. And it's like, you know, you can apply mindfulness into daily living. You don't have to sit and meditate. You know, I have clients that, for example, are Pitta, you know, in Ayurveda. So a Pitta type has a hard time to sit and meditate. So Vata, I would say Vatas too, because they're very like all over the place. But
Yeah.
yeah, because it's the wind element. So the Vata type is like, okay, where else we're going now? So, you know, they're like, so a Vata type or also a Pitta, they prefer doing something out in nature, for example. So you can do a mindful walk or go and do some forest bathing where you just pay attention to your feet and your legs when you're walking. Whenever a thought comes into your mind, just count, you know, 1, 2, 3, or right foot, left foot, or you can recite mantra. You know, when you can say things like also simple mantras like I kiss the earth kisses me. I kiss the earth kisses me. So one foot is I kiss the earth, the other foot is the earth kisses me.
I love that. I've not heard that one before. It's so soft and gentle and very simple, and I can see how it would just create sort of almost like a trance-like state if you're walking in a beautiful place.
Yes, it gives you, that's beautiful. And actually, it's not a Sanskrit mantra, so everybody can relate to it. But actually, that's not mine. It's from Thich Nhat Hanh. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I don't want to, you know, I'm not a master like Thich Nhat Hanh. So, but, you know, that's another beautiful one. I kiss the earth kisses me, because then you're relating with Mother Earth too at the same time. It's not just about me. The movie of me, this movie of me that it's always about us. We're the producers, directors, set designers, and you know, of the movie of this movie of me that we keep editing every day. It's like, okay, with this piece, where do I put it? And it's like it becomes like it's crazy, like what goes on in our minds. So can we find a practice where, you know, like this? Okay, walking meditation. I go outside and I do this. You know, this is another way of meditating.
Yes.
There's no. So yes, going back to your question, there are many ways that we can just bring awareness in the present moment, and we need a few. You know, it's not so easy. So, like I said, you know, you can walk and recite a mantra as you walk. You can do the stop practice, which is another good one. And then, you know, and just breathe when you're washing your dishes. You know, even there's mindfulness in washing your dishes. You know, just breathe into it. Just pay attention to what you're doing. Just bring attention to your breath. Whatever you're doing, take that couple extra breaths before you say that word you want to say to that person. You know, a breath can save our lives. It can save our relationships too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm all for slowing down, especially when you're in a heightened emotional state, slowing down and breathing and pause, even if it's just for a second before there's any sort of response, whether it's a physical response, a verbal response, just it can save your life, like you said.
Yeah, it can save your life. Not only your life, it can also save our relationships. Because
Absolutely.
we have dealt with family members, or we're dealing with our love partners, you know, like, and you know, it happens that all the time that somebody says something to us, and instead of responding, we react.
Mm-hmm.
When we react, that's the mess.
Yeah, exactly.
reaction is not good, because responding is when you're observed with inside the situation, giving yourself a little time, a couple breaths, observe the situation, stop,
Yeah.
observe what's going on, and then eventually say what you got to say, or give yourself some time. Take some time. You say, even to your partner, you say, you know what, I need some time, let me go for a walk.
Yes.
Walk, you come back, thank God you didn't say what you wanted to say.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's insight into our habits, how we function. And so mindfulness can also help us analyze and become intimate with our own habits. How we, how do we deal with any given situation? Maybe it's a way of discovering ourselves, a way of really finding out who we really are.
Yeah. I think that's you just hit on a really important point is like just slowing down enough. It brings such a depth of awareness to what's going on here, which
Yes.
is this kind of leads us away from like what we really think or what we really feel, because it's the constant mind chatter, and most of the time we don't realize it until we slow down.
Yes, until we slow down. And then, for example, you brought it up, Clarita, very good. So it's about also, taking a pause in everything we do. So let me give you an example. For example, we begin the day, we go in our cars wherever we live, we go in our car, and then from the car we go to the mall, to the grocery store, we buy our things. In between, from our home and the grocery store, there's a beautiful sunset happening, but we're not looking at the sunset because we're caught up in our mental visual patterns, and we're like, okay, whatever that's okay. So practicing pausing means from when you step out of the house, just as soon as you step out, just pause. Then you go from your house to the car, or you take the bus or the bicycle, whatever. Just pause in these moments in between, just so that you become aware of each moment that you're going through in your life. So even, when you see, let's say you're driving or you're walking and you see a beautiful sunset or beautiful light, pause and observe, pausing is so important to bring insight and to bring joy in our lives, and to transform the ordinary in something extraordinary, so
Yes.
that we begin to become grateful for life when we do this.
Yeah.
Taking
I
that.
always so I was just going to say, I always feel like any day where I spend more of the day outside than inside, because like it almost forces you, nature almost forces you to be more mindful and aware, because there's so much more sensory information in like a softer way for some reason, that you are aware of more of the moments versus if you were inside working on a computer all day. It
Absolutely.
like always makes the day seem so much longer and so
Absolutely.
much more enjoyable.
Yes, yes. Yes, you brought it up because this is the reason why, when we started this conversation, I was telling you that for me, being in nature and surrounded by nature has been very healing, because it brought me out of the movie of me, of this movie
Yeah.
of my life. It's my life. It's all about me. And I'm editing my life, and I'm the projector and the producer and so nature, first of all, there is something very practical about it, because that this is part of the forest bathing concept that, was created in the 80s in Japan. It's
Yeah.
called Shinrin Yoku. So Shinrin is the forest, Yoku means bathing in the forest. So it's a national program, healing program in Japan, that they brought in the 80s because they discovered that plants produce these natural aromatherapy particles called phytoncides or something like that. So
Yeah.
just by breathing in these natural therapy particles, we start feeling better. Our mood change, our moods are changing, our brain is just clearing up. We gain clarity. Not only that, our immune system.
It changes the physiology of the body to make it healthier.
Yeah.
All parts of the body.
All
Yeah.
parts of the body. And it's even just 20 minutes a day, you know, just in lunch break, just go have a walk in nature, you know, next to wherever there are trees, and or after work, or at least give yourself like a 20-minute a day, because that definitely is going to help, tremendously. So yeah, so not being too much stuck in your own little, you know, comfort
Cubicle.
zone. What?
I said cubicle.
Oh, yeah, like we're whole. So yeah, nature is going to save us, I believe. Like this approach that of connected, you know, with nature, and respect. Also respect for Mother Nature too, you know.
I think we're getting there. I think we're in this phase where people are switching back to being like living closer to the earth. Like it's been bubbling for a while. And I mean, Italy, where you are, I'm sure I've been to Tuscany, and it seems like that's just more of the norm here, more of the norm there than it is here. But I think next year we're going to see a big switch to many more people choosing to live closer to nature.
Oh yeah. It's happening. It's happening. It's reshaping all whatever is happening. It's reshaping how we, the ideas that we have about how we want to live and how we want to work. You know, how do we want to work, and what kind of environment do we want to choose? And also, community is so important now, because people can get very isolated. And what happens when you don't have, like, not even a small community around you? So that's important too, you know, to have a good community of friends, of family and friends that you can trust, that you can, you know, at least have, because we are social beings. So
absolutely.
So even that is very very important. I wanted to, if you have another question, I was going to read something.
Nope, I think that was it. I think we're about reaching our time. But if you want to share something, absolutely, go ahead.
I was just gonna read. Okay, so I like to write. You see, this is something else that I think it's nice to do. So I buy these, like this kind of paper, and then I write some that I find interesting, you know, and then I keep them there so I can read them, or I can read them to somebody else. So I found this this from the Dalai Lama, that he was asked a while back. He was asked, so what do you think about human nature? What do you think about man? And he said, well, he sacrifices health in order to make money. Then he sacrifices money to recuperate health. And then he's so anxious about the future that he does not live in the present moment. The result being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he is never going to die, and then dies having never really lived. And this is, you know,
it's sad, but it's true.
Sad but true, right?
Yeah.
Sad,
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Pleasure.
Thank you for sharing all of your knowledge with us. If people want to find you, if they want to connect with you, where do they go?
Oh, they go on my Instagram, Lulu Mindfulness, and they'll find me there. They can, chat with me directly. The chats are open on my Instagram, And then I'm also building now a YouTube channel, so in more of a Facebook page, reach me a little better. But for now,
Okay.
on Lulu Mindfulness here on Instagram.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. So go find Lulu if you need some more support with mindfulness practices, or she does a ton of other things too. So happy to connect her with you guys. And Lulu, thank you again so much for being here today. We had a little technical snafu in the beginning, but it worked out. We did it. So
you're amazing. I love your energy and whatever,
oh,
all the things. So keep it going, and keep bringing love and joy and beauty into this world, because we need people like you. Okay.
yeah, we need all the people like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and your insight. And thank you to everyone who popped on live or who is watching this on the replay. Have a beautiful day, you guys.
Thank you. Namaste. Ciao.
Sat Nam.
Ciao.